You're always available, always responding, always reaching out first. And deep down, you wonder, why don't they treat me the same way? Here's the truth. People take what's easy for granted. The more you chase, the faster they run. The more you give, the less they appreciate. That's just how human nature works. But what happens when you pull back? When you stop texting first? When you stop showing up every time they need you, but never when you need them, they notice. Suddenly, you're not so predictable anymore. They start wondering where you are, what you're doing, why you're different. And that's when the dynamic shifts. You see, attention is a currency. And if you're giving yours away for free, people will never see its value. But the moment you take it back, when you stop being too available, that's when they realize what they had. It's not about playing games. It's about self-respect. You have goals, dreams, a life to build. You weren't put on this earth to beg for someone's time. Stop proving your worth to people who don't even see it. And here's the best part. When you focus on yourself, when you level up, when you become unavailable because you're too busy improving, they don't just miss you. They start respecting you. Because the version of you that chases is forgettable. But the version that disappears, that's unforgettable. You're always there, always the first to reach out, always the one making the effort. And yet somehow you feel like you're the one being taken for granted. It's frustrating, isn't it? The more you give, the less they appreciate. The more you show up, the more they pull away. You start questioning yourself. What am I doing wrong? But the problem isn't you. It's the way people work. We don't value what's always available. We don't chase what's already in our hands. Think about it. When was the last time you truly appreciated air, water, the things that are always there every single day? You don't, because they're expected. But take them away, suddenly you feel their absence. That's how people are. They only value what they might lose. The reason they don't appreciate you is simple. You've made yourself too easy to reach, too predictable, too present. They don't have to wonder where you are because you're always there. They don't have to miss you because you never give them a chance to. So here's the shift. Stop giving away your presence so easily. Pull back, not as a game, but as a statement that says, I am not an option. I am a priority. And if you can't see that, I won't force you to. Instead of chasing, focus on yourself. Instead of proving your worth, know your worth. Build a life so fulfilling that you no longer need their validation. Because here's what happens when you do. They notice. They wonder. They start thinking about you more. They start missing your energy, your effort, your presence. And that's when the shift happens. That's when they realize what they had all along. So let them miss you. Let them feel your absence. Because sometimes distance isn't about losing people. It's about making them see your value. And when you do that, you don't just change their perception. You change everything. You spend so much time giving. Your time, your energy, your attention. You check in on them, make sure they're okay, show up when they need you. But when was the last time you asked yourself, who's doing that for me? The truth is, people don't appreciate what's always there. They don't notice the effort when it's given freely, when it costs them nothing. That's just how it is. The more you push yourself into someone's life, the more they pull away. But what happens when you stop? What happens when you shift your focus away from them and back to yourself? When you stop being the one who always reaches out, always fixes things, always bends so they don't have to, that's when everything changes. Because when you stop wasting your energy on others, you get that energy back. And suddenly, you're not drained. You're not waiting. You're not hoping for someone to finally see your worth. You see it yourself. This is where real growth starts, when you invest in yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, when you stop begging for people to value you and start valuing yourself. Instead of chasing people, chase your goals. Instead of proving yourself to them, prove yourself to you. Every minute you spend worrying about someone who doesn't see your worth is a minute stolen from your own potential. And here's the best part. When you pull away, when you disappear to work on yourself, people notice. The ones who took you for granted start wondering where you went. The ones who ignored you start paying attention. Because now your energy is rare, and what's rare is valuable. That's the power of saying no to distractions and yes to self-improvement. So let them miss you. Let them feel your absence. And while they're wondering where you went, you'll be too busy becoming the best version of yourself. The moment you stop chasing, everything shifts. People notice when your energy is no longer available to them. When you stop trying so hard. When you stop being the one who always shows up, always checks in, always makes the effort. And at first, they might not react. They might think you'll come back like you always do. They might assume you'll keep being that person who prioritizes them over yourself. But then time passes and you're still gone. That's when the real transformation happens. They start to wonder, why aren't you reaching out? Where did your attention go? The absence they never thought twice about before suddenly feels noticeable. It feels uncomfortable because now they don't have access to your energy whenever they want. But here's the thing. You're not pulling away to make them miss you. You're pulling away to focus on you. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You stop worrying about who's thinking about you and start thinking about yourself. Your confidence grows because you're no longer seeking validation from people who never truly valued you. Your happiness expands because you're no longer attached to whether someone texts back, calls back, or cares enough to make the effort. Instead of chasing, you're attracting. Because people are naturally drawn to those who are focused, driven, and unbothered. When you invest in yourself, your goals, your passions, your growth, you become magnetic. The same people who once overlooked you suddenly see you in a different light. Why? Because you've changed. You're not given unlimited access anymore. You're not waiting around for anyone to realize your worth. You already know it. And when you know your worth, the right people feel it. So let them miss you. Let them feel the absence of your presence, your energy, your time, not out of pettiness, but out of self-respect. And as they wonder where you went, you'll be too busy building, growing, and evolving to even notice. Stop. Just stop for a second and ask yourself, how much of your time is spent on people who wouldn't do the same for you? How often do you put others first while putting yourself last? You've been giving too much attention, or too much energy, too much effort. And the harsh truth, people don't value what's given to them freely. But here's the good news. This ends today. Starting now, you shift your focus back to yourself. You stop chasing, stop waiting, stop hoping for people to appreciate you. Because the second you stop handing out your presence like it's nothing, everything starts to change. Step 1, set clear goals and priorities. You've spent enough time worrying about others. Now it's time to focus on you. What do you actually want? Where do you want to be in 6 months? A year? Successful people aren't distracted by what others are doing. They are locked in on their own mission. Decide what matters to you and start moving toward it. Write down your goals or make them clear. Big or small, they don't matter. What matters is that they belong to you. Step 2, cut out distractions and negative influences. You can't grow in a toxic environment. If the people around you drain your energy, pull you down, or make you question your worth, it's time to let go. Stop wasting time on endless scrolling, meaningless drama, or people who only show up when they need something. Your energy is too valuable for that. If it doesn't push you forward, it's holding you back, and you don't have time for that anymore. Step 3, build powerful daily habits. If you want to change your life, start with your daily routine. The little things you do every day shape who you become. Start reading books that expand your mind. Hit the gym and take care of your body. Learn a new skill that makes you better than you were yesterday. Small actions create massive results over time. Stay consistent, and before you know it, you'll be unrecognizable. Step 4, stay consistent and trust the process. This won't happen overnight. People will notice the change in you. Some will be inspired. Some will be confused. Some might even try to pull you back to your old ways. Ignore them. Stay focused, because when you dedicate yourself to your growth, when you choose yourself over meaningless distractions, that's when people really start to miss you. And by the time they do, You'll be too busy becoming your best self to even notice. You have no idea how powerful you are when you stop wasting your energy on people who don't see your worth. For too long, you've given too much. You've been too available, too forgiving, too willing to prove yourself to people who never even deserved your presence. But that version of you, it's done. It's over. Starting now, you are no longer an option. You are the priority. The world doesn't reward those who beg for attention. It rewards those who create their own path. So let them miss you. Let them wonder where you went. Let them feel your absence. Because while they're thinking about you, you'll be too busy building, growing, evolving into someone they never saw coming. For the next 30 days, focus on you. No distractions, no chasing. It's pure self-improvement. Watch how your confidence shifts. Watch how your energy changes. Watch how the people who once ignored you start noticing. But by the time they do, you'll be too far ahead to even care. The world changes when you change. So start today.